Howdy folks, I actually have a script for this video. I know, shock horror, I have a script for this video. Before I get into the video, I want to ask you guys, the viewers, a simple question. A company has reached out to me about doing a video sponsorship for them, and I want to get your feedback from you guys specifically on whether or not you think I should go ahead and do it. Again, please understand that I don't do this content to make money or to get famous. I just do this content to pass on what I know to you, the viewers. Anyway, guys, without further ado, leave your comment in the comment section whether or not I should do it or not. Until then, guys, enjoy the video. Hey, guys. Sorry about that little clip there, but welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Today's video is going to be about 3 horrible little words that people just don't want to talk about. RNG, or random number generator. What I mean by that is, there are a lot of people out there who are adamant that wargaming rig matches for their CCs and don't rig matches for you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a simple little idea of how to break certain stuff down. And in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab something real quick. I've got to put this. There we go. All right, guys. So yes, this is my script. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here. This is how you mathematically break down your RNG. Okay, so pause if you want to read more. Okay, so I'll leave it on the screen for a few more seconds, and then I'll go into the explanation of it. All right, enough of that. So that's gone. All right, so let me explain. The real RNG in World of Tanks, the bits that you can't skill away, are A, damage, B, penetration, and C, shot dispersion. Now, what I mean by that is, in World of Tanks, and we'll go over to World of Tanks. Oh, right. Woot, woot. I got home front supplies. Excellent. Alright, so, welcome back, guys. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use some crew skills. They'll be on the screen. You might get a little confused. Don't worry, I'll explain. So, let's take a look at my commander on my Scorpion. This is Maximilian Knabe. He was a unique commander that you could get during an event. I believe he only comes around once every 2 to 4 years. He might be around during the Jade event, I don't know. But as you can see, he is maxed out. Now, the reason why he's maxed out like this is because I need him to show you what I mean by things that you can't skill away. And what I mean by that is, if you take a look at something like ammo tuning. Now, ammo tuning states that by default, the potential minimum damage and penetration range is -25 to the base value. So, again, let me bring up the mathematics. Excuse me. Let me bring up the mathematics for that. So, if you bring up the mathematics, okay, let's take a look at the gun. The gun has an alpha of 495. Okay, on the low end, okay, a 390 alpha gun, so I'm a medium tank. Its low end penetration roll, like damage roll, would be 293. Its high end, its capped damage is 488. So that's -25 to +25. What that means is 0.75 times to 1.25 times. Now, again, people are like, I'm explaining it to you in layman's terms. Now, you can lower, okay, you can lower those RNG gaps, okay, by adding skills like ammo tuning. Because all the ammo tuning does is it reduces it by a further 2%. So instead of it being 0.75, it's now 2.75, and instead of it being 1.25, it's now 3.25. Okay, so we've gone from this to this. Okay, and our damage is in between. So if we roll pen, damage, and it's a good pen, like we've successfully equalized against the armor, we've gone through, we've done, you know, and in other games, it would be ammo then checks for spool. If the ammo spools, does additional damage, etc., etc. But wargaming don't do it like that. Okay, wargaming don't do it like that. Consider your tank to be like a cardboard box. Okay, and if I throw a pen, okay, consider your tank to be a cardboard box, and if I keep throwing my pen at this box, it's not going to penetrate. Do you see? But if I throw this sharp, blunt instrument, this sharp instrument like this, oh look, it penetrated. Fuck. It penetrated good. Okay, you can see the hole in it now. That's how World of Tanks treats your tank. It treats you like a cardboard box with items on the inside. Now, whether this shell penetrates through that cardboard box and then hits something on the inside, that's another thing that's taken into that calculation. I wonder why your ammo rack gets hit, everywhere your radio gets hit, or your gun gets destroyed, etc., etc. Shooting the barrel of a tank in World of Tanks does nothing to the gun. Okay, it's the breech. Okay, so if you hit the tank in the breech, you will destroy the gun. You hit the barrel of the tank, it does nothing. It's considered space armor and has no hit points. This is why people say use your barrel to block your lower plate weak spot or your Commander's Cupola on certain British dual-barreled heavies, or the M54 Renegade. They'll tell you or the E5, to always turn your turret to I think it's like 30 degrees to the left and bring your barrel up to protect your Commander's Cupola from any incoming fire. Okay, why? Because the barrel has no hit points. So you basically throwing up an infinite screen that they can't penetrate, they can't get through. Even a Yagi with 420 millimeters of penetration, if it hits that tank's barrel, it does nothing. Nothing. Which is horseshit, and Wargaming knows this, but Wargaming won't fix it. They can't fix it. It's a mechanic within their game. They can't fix it. So, that aside. So, now, let's also take into things like shot, dispersion, reticle. Okay, so if we take a look at our aim time and our dispersion, right there, dispersion. Okay, the dispersion on my Scorpion is 0.27. Okay, now dispersions works on a 2 sigma system. If you don't know what 2 sigma is, just Google what is a 2 sigma system. You'll find out it's basically a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is when two circles oversect each other. The one in the middle is what most data is accrued and allocated for. Okay, the other data on either side is an outlier. Okay, which means doesn't mean that they're lying. It just means it's irrelevant data that doesn't apply to what you're trying to figure out. So if you take if you take a pen, again, Bill Nye the Science Guy. Okay, so if we take a pen, why is it I'm so unprepared for this? Literally, I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and it's barely 5:45, so I've only had like an hour's sleep, prep time for this. So if we take this envelope and I draw 2 circles, okay, the ones without the X's are not what we're paying attention to. We're paying attention to the one in the center with the black stripes. Okay, that's a 2 sigma Venn diagram. Okay, most people are like, I'm learning new words today. Yeah, that's a 2 sigma Venn diagram. That is what wargaming pay attention to. Okay, now let's not take into effect your factor of your aim, your sensitivity of your mouse, your internet connection, the server ping. There are so many other variables that you've got to take into account before you make your shot. So tanks that have a lengthy reload, like the Yagi E100, the FE4005, certain artillery, KV2, anything that seems to be a howitzer for some reason, you have to take in all these factors before you click. You can try and snap your shot, and you're throwing it up to the RNG styling gods, whether or not your shell's going to hit. Okay? Because you got to understand, the way the game works is it physically renders your shell. It's not like COD, where it's a hit scan registry system. Again, game engine differences. I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent here, so bear with me. Games like Call of Duty, okay, work on a hit scan system. Okay, there are games out there that work on both hit scan and physical projectile. That's games like Warframe. Warframe has both hit scan and physical projection. Now let me explain. Hit scan is if I can see it and I aim and I shoot and there's nothing blocking my weapon's POV, my weapon's point of view to the target, that is a hit scan. I scanned you, I see you, I shoot, I hit you. Okay, hence, there you go. A projectile-based game like Tarkov, Battlefield, and in this case, World of Tanks, works out, I'm here, I see light tank camping bush, light tank's an idiot, doesn't see a little orange light bulb go bing, I wait, I shoot, I can see my shell flying. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Now it's up to the RNG gods and the two Sigma system on whether or not my shell is going to deviate up, down, left, or right. Now, what drastically changes that Sigma? Okay, what radically changes that Sigma? Okay, is a whole bunch of factors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to armor, because this is going to be a lot easier. Okay, if my tank is on a hill, okay, on a crest like this at a weird elevation, and my turret is down and up and I'm using my maximum gun elevation, okay, my Sigma is not going to be this. My Sigma is going to be this. Okay, your Sigma is always a flat plane equal to the flatness of your turret. So where your turret is flat like this, your Sigma is this. It's a balance of 0. Okay? If your barrel is up like this, your Sigma is now up like this, because it's following the plane of your barrel tip. Understand now? Good. Because when you fire your shell doesn't come out of here like it's supposed to. It actually comes out of here, your breech. That's how the game mechanic works. Yes, you will see your gun traverse back, you will see smoke, and you will see a shell fly out. But it doesn't technically come out the tip of your barrel. At least I don't think it does. Again, I don't think it does. It may not, I don't know. Now, most hit scans, it comes out of the base of where the range would be, which in this case would be the breach. Now, games like that fire projectiles, like World of Tanks and War Thunder, it may come from the barrel, but the point is this is your plane of Sigma. Okay, so if your gun arc is up, your Sigma is off. If your tank is crooked on a hill undulation, okay, then your Sigma is not going to be here, it's going to be here. It's going to be tilted. So now you have to pay attention. You ever noticed how in movies like John Wick, most people who hold their pistol, but most of the bad guys hold their pistols like this, but John holds his pistol like this? That's because he knows what his Sigma is now. Do you see what I'm saying? He knows what his sight Sigma is. Okay, he knows that if he's doing it like this, worst case scenario, bullet's going to traverse up. Best case scenario, it's going to stay straight, or it's going to go down. So if he's going to do a triangle chest shot, or Mozambique, which is two to chest, one to the head, he's easily just going to go pop, pop, pop. That's it. Instead of just a wrist flick. Do you see? As where it's this one, I've got to move my whole entire arm, both my arms up. So in a snapshot scenario, what's better? This or this? Again, former British Army, I can explain that to you in that way. So you're looking at a 2 Sigma system. So if you ever wondered why when you're on an undulation or you're on a hill or whatever and your shot shoots up into the sky or dirks itself right into the ground, and I will leave a clip in here where I'm doing that in my Scorpion because I'm not paying attention to where my tank's is. My tank on an even playing field or is it on an undulation? So your Sigma is always going to move. This is why you have your server reticle. Okay, so I've got to do this. Your server reticle. Are you starting to understand now? Great, good. So that's explained the Sigma system. So Wargaming have said that you have got that there's only a 4.6% chance for your shot to land on the edge of that aiming circle. Okay, short. They say that there is a bias towards the center. Okay, now I have noticed in certain tanks, most notably artillery, and yes, I do play artillery. I'm not a overly huge fan of artillery. In fact, I had the GW Panther. I believe I sold my GW Tiger. Did I sell my GW Tiger? Yeah, I sold my GW Tiger, but I have the GW Panther. Why? Because it's just a really good artillery piece. It's the only turreted artillery piece in the whole of the German tech tree. Everything else is a stationary cabin, which makes no sense. Because I know for a fact Germany had rotated turreting artillery because they use them for flat cannons as well. So wargaming, you better get on that. Anyway, neither here nor there. Swings and roundabouts, as they say. Swings and roundabouts. So now you understand how your Sigma system works. Okay, now you understand how that works. Let me move on to how things work, like your bloom, your dispersion. Okay. Wargaming's own beginner guide makes it clear. Moving your hull or turret increases your dispersion, your bloom. And waiting lets the reticle shrink back down. So there's lots of RNG misses are really, 1, firing before you're fully aimed, 2, shooting mid-traverse, i.e. snapshots, 3, peeking too fast, not pre-aiming, or 4, bad stabilization setups / cruise / field mod choices. So, let me explain. There are some tanks in this game that just demand that you have a gun stabilizer. Most notably, E50. Now, I've got certain clips of me and my E50 where I'm fully traversing, fully driving back and forth, and I snap a shot into a phantom aim and I hit him right dead center in the turret. Could that be aimbot? Some people would call it aimbot. I just call it lucky. And then there's several times I've snapped a shot where my reticle is the size of a mosquito's penis tip and my shell doesn't even go anywhere near what the fuck I aimed. Again, RNG giveth, RNG taketh away. Okay, so there's other tanks as well, like, here you go, my E77. This thing is a brawler, which means I'm constantly moving back and forth. So instead of having a reticle this bloom and not be able to hit anything, I'd rather have the reticle like this and be able to hit stuff. So you want to mitigate that. You can mitigate that movement traverse bloom by using things like a gun stabilizer. And if you look at your gunner, there are certain skills that you can get as well. Most notably, you can pick up skills like snapshot, you can pick up skills like quick aiming, you can pick up skills like armorer. And again, how does armorer help? Armorer helps because if you look at the dispersion factor going from 0.37, it drops down to 0.36. So just having that skill alone makes my tank more easier to hit the target. Okay? So it's not necessarily... What I'm doing is I'm showing you the idiot's guide, okay? And answering common questions as they come up. At the same time, by the time I'm done with this video, you'll understand why you keep messing up, okay? Now, so you can mitigate the bloom factor with equipment and certain skills. Okay, great. But you can also mitigate that bloom factor in other ways as well. Which is, instead of constantly moving your chassis back and forth and around and da, just move your turret. Just move your turret. Once you've found the specific angle that you know is almost impossible for the enemy tank. Say I'm bullying a medium tank. Okay, say I'm bullying a CS63, CS53. Sorry, I know for a fact that poor schmuck can't penetrate me in my turret in a certain point. Okay, so I'm going to keep my chassis in a specific direction and my turret in a specific direction. So he comes around. I will tap the R key once, which is in World of Tanks. If you look at your skills, your keys. Sorry, go to settings. And you go to controls, you're going to see a key called automatic. Now mine is set to R. Where are you? Hello? Anyway, mine is set to R. You can set yours to whatever key you want. Where is it? And yes, here it goes. See, cruise control. Okay. Now what that does is I tap it once, my tank is slowly creeping forward in first gear. Your reticle barely moves until you hit an undulational terrain. That's when the 2 sigma system kicks in and it causes your bloom to come up and down, up and down, up and down. Again, your 2 sigma system is a constant system going from your client to the server, your client to the server, your client to the server. Sometimes they get desynced. and your shot will just miss, or you'll get what's called a ghost shell. Now, Wargaming have said that they're trying their best to eradicate the ghost shell problem, but it still persists, okay? And it's only in very rare cases. Okay, so now you figured out that you can get into a specific position or even creep along on, say, like a Taschen Ratte or an E100. So you're in your E100, tap your R key once, you're creeping along, you're still making up movement, but you're keeping your bloom down low enough, so you just hit your S key to stop, snap, and you've got a higher chance of that shot hitting rather than stop, stationary, wait, fuck, I got hit. Do you see what I'm saying? There are, again, my crews on a lot of my tier 8, 9s and 10s are extremely high because I play a lot of 8, 9s and 10s and even my tier 11s. If you look at my Taschen Ratte, there you go. Burkoff's already almost maxed out. That should tell you something, okay? My crew on my Taschen Ratte are up there because I enjoy playing German super heavies. So Taschen Ratte, E100. I do want to pick up a mouse, but not right now. And I got my Tiger Mouse. My Tiger Mouse, I'm still working on the crew, getting the crew up. But ultimately, that's how you figure out how to sort out the bloom. Now, penetration values. You figured out how to get your bloom down. You figured out that once you fired. Now, why did my shot not pen? Fear not, I'm about to cover that for you. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm even going to use, let's pick a common heavy tank. Let's pick a Tiger 2. Okay, we're going to pick the Tiger 2. Okay, we're going to go to armor profile, and you're going to see why. Okay, so I really wish I could zoom out and rotate the turret and a few other things and whatnot like you can on Tanks GG, but oh well. Now, if you're looking at a Tiger 2, okay, and you have 160 pen, okay, you are not going through its lower plate. Now, back in the old days, this machine gun port used to be a physical weakness of the tank. I actually killed Tiger 2s in my Easy 8 Sherman by shooting them in the machine gun port, because this only used to be a 100mm stick. And with a Sherman Easy 8, I could sit there and go pop, 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 Glock, pop, 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 and just whittle them to pieces. Okay, can't do that now because Wargaming removed certain frontal weak spots due to, again, players complaining. Now, the way the penetration works out is very similar to the alpha, okay, i.e. your damage. So if you've got a minimum penetration, okay, for example, say you've got a penetration value of 245, 246, okay, it will max out at 260, point blank, barrel press to the tank. 260 is your maximum penetration, using again the plus 25, neg 25 Sigma system. Okay, well, no, not Sigma system. The plus 25, neg 25 penetration system, same as the alpha. Again, you can also mitigate that with certain crew skills like ammo tuning. Now, minimum pen is is plus 0.75. With ammo tuning, it goes up to 1.75, and maximum penetration goes from 1.25 to 3.25. So you can, in theory, your range of 0.5 between the two actually goes down to 0.3. Okay, again, because ammo tuning says it goes down by 3%. So instead of it being 0.5, it's now 0.2. Do you see? So yes, ammo tuning, and yes, ammo tuning does stack on gunners that have more. If you've got a loader that's got more than 2 loaders. So case in point, let's take a look at my E100. So ammo tuning. Oh, I did not put ammo tuning on her. Interesting. Why? Odd. Anyway, if I was to add ammo tuning to her again and get rid of safe stowage, not that you want to do that on this tank, but if I did that, my penetration sigma would go down by 1%. So I've only got a 1% on my pen chance that the shell is not going to give me full maximum penetration of that angle. Now, again, angles of the vehicle. If your tank, case in point, if your tank is angled really good, like say you're on a hillside, your lower plate's protected, and you're angled like this, okay, with your barrel up in the air, protecting, you know, whatever weak spots you've got. Yeah. Good luck. I've completed entire block 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 damage in a Mountain Breaker at tier 8 because I know how to angle that tank. And people were just shooting at me with everything they had, including HE. And yes, there are certain field mods that you can get. I'm still working on the field mods listening. You can get certain field mods that say prevent X amount of damage from HE. There you go. So eventually, even the enemy's HE, your skills, your additional equipment, will start affecting their ammo tuning. It's a swings. It's a rock paper scissors shotgun style of game, if that makes sense. That's how the RNG. That's the best way to describe RNG in World of Tanks. Okay, know the enemy's weak spots. Okay, if you're constantly seeing specific tanks. Okay, so I'm constantly seeing, due to my tier, I'm constantly seeing American Ares tanks. So if I go here, go to my vehicles, go American, like so, go to tech tree, go to America. Because I'm constantly seeing Ares 85s. I click on Ares 85, click on armor, and now I can figure out where to penetrate this tank. Do you see? There's nothing stopping you. There's nothing stopping you from doing this to any and every tank in the game. So if you constantly see Ares, figure out how you can penetrate an Ares. Case in point, most notably, an Ares can destroy another one from the rear. So never give an enemy Ares your rear, because their basic HE will go right through you and do full penetration. Okay? Point is, this is how I learned. And granted, there are some tanks that are in the game that I don't even know what the hell they are. Okay? I know what the Phantom Aim is because I have one, but there are certain tanks like the Torres. I don't even know what the Torres is, so guess what? Go to tanks.gg. Okay, link will be in the video description. Type in the tank that you don't know anything about. It'll bring up the 3D model of the vehicle. You can even move that model into different angles and turrets and rotations and this and that, and you can figure out exactly where to penetrate that vehicle with the shell that you have. So I've explained to you how to mitigate misses, how to figure out why your alpha is this versus this, figured out how to penetrate this versus this. Now, I'm going to go into something else now, okay? Now, what I'm about to do is I'm about to talk to you about certain myths versus certain facts, okay? This is some of the things that a lot of people don't seem to understand, okay? And so let me move on to step 4, and then I'll get onto the myths. So step 4 is perceived RNG by the player. Okay, this is my ESIS, the kind of thing. How to reduce your RNG impact: aim longer, shoot less on the move. Simple. 2, use equipment and skills that cut bloom in aim time. Your build choices matter more than people think. Pre-aim common angles instead of snap cornering. So if you know that there's an enemy, you think there's an enemy tank there, aim your turret there, then move your chassis and then come around. It's going to make that bloom way quicker. Pen chances, decision making. Shoot flatter armor, not the strongest plate, obviously. Improve impact angles, wait for them to turn or relocate. Use overmatch mechanics to reduce your bounce chance, in specific cases caliber versus armor thickness. Now, this is something that confuses a lot of people, so I will make it abundantly clear. Okay, caliber is the diameter of the shell. Okay, case in point, let's take a look at one of the so we got the E100. Okay, this bad boy's caliber, okay, is 128 millimeters. All right, 128 millimeters versus the side armor of, say, I'll be mean and bully the Easy 8 Sherman for a second. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the side armor of the Easy 8 Sherman. Okay, side armor of the Easy 8 Sherman is 38 millimeters. I've got 90 something millimeters of forcible penetration past that. So if he's side scraping like this, so there's a wall there and he's side scraping. Right there, 140. I'm going through this guy. And I'm going to overmatch him. Which means it takes out the angle. So the extra 104 millimeters of added due to his angle, null and void. To me, that side armor is only 38 millimeters. I'm going through him like he doesn't exist. Do you understand how the overmatch mechanic works now? Again, commanders, cupolas, and upper foreheads on certain tanks. You can overmatch that armor. The amount of times I've overmatched the forehead armor on tanks, and they just look at me like, how the hell did you pen me? It's like, I overmatched your forehead. Duh. You can do it. You just got to figure out how. Again, tanks.gg. That's all I need to say. So, we figured out. Now, here's another thing. Premium ammo isn't a no to RNG. It's a wider margin. It raises your penetration roll against... It ups your P versus A. Okay, so penetration versus armor. Okay, PA. So if we're going to do it in a mathematical thing, it would be P value of P subtract value of A equals penetration, yes, no. Again, I'm simplifying the math. I'm simplifying it down to just raw digital physics, if that makes sense. So, you ever wondered why you can't penetrate certain tanks from the front? Now you know why. Okay, it's not because Wargaming keep adding more and more broken tanks, which they do, and they've even admitted that they are working on adding more fair and balanced tanks, and also rebalancing older tanks that they've put into the game. So look for nerfs hitting the Ares series of tanks here coming soon. They haven't specifically said the Ares tank, but we all know it's going to be them. Now, let's take a look at the myths versus facts. Fully aimed means guaranteed hit. No, it doesn't. Okay, fact. It means the shell lands somewhere inside the reticle to the center bias, i.e. the 2 sigma. It is not a guaranteed hit. Okay? Enemy tank could stop dead. Enemy tank could back up. Enemy tank could just find a way to change his angle. So yeah, it's not a guaranteed hit. The amount of times I think I've got a good shot on their engine deck and my shell has gone right over their engine deck and left a love note saying coulda, woulda, shoulda, but didn't. Myth, RNG decides pen. RNG rolls pen, but you choose the armor and the angle. You test it again. You test it against. So what I mean by that is, okay, if I know that I can penetrate this Easy 8 Sherman, okay, from the sides, and he's giving me his front, yeah, lower plate down here, it's flat. It's a big old flat piece of plate. Okay, this was such a known weakness in the Sherman that they try covering up with sandbags, concrete. Hence, this is why they ended up making the T14. This is just an Easy 8 Sherman with concrete slapped on it, and they just called it a prototype. That's why the T designation in all American tanks stands for prototype. Okay, so prototype, 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 prototype. You see what I'm saying? The T designation always stands for prototype. So T29, T30, T32, all prototypes. Never made it to mass production. M103 did make it to mass production. So now you know. The more you know. So, here's another one. Myth. RNG is rigged per player. Most proof clips that you see, ignoring bloom, aim state, and target movement angle, it's easy to demonstrate with a side-by-side example. So if you take two replays of the same map, same tank, and same scenarios, one tank is always going to outperform the other. Because and people will say, see, RNG. No. RNG is a factor that you have to take in. Same as gambling. When you play roulette, people say, oh yeah, put 2 here, put 2 here, put 2 here. It's called hedging your bets, okay? What this guide is meant to be is for you to hedge your bets. Okay, I'm just explaining it to you from a mathematician's point of view. I'm just explaining it to you from a structural engineer's position. I'm explaining it to you from a former fucking tank driver's position. Okay, trust me on this. Everything I'm saying to you is also taken from Wargaming's Wikipedia and various other sources. Okay, not including Reddit and a few other places, but also their old original forums. Again, the Wayback Machine is a thing. And I went all the way back to patch notes on 8.6 when they first introduced the new Sigma aiming system. Okay? So trust me, everything I'm giving you is relevant data for the current meta for 2025, 2026, 2027 and on. Until Wargaming say, hey guys, we've changed it up. Okay? So please understand that what I'm trying to teach you is not teach you to be a shit player. I'm teaching you how you aim, you shoot, nothing happens. God damn it, game hates me, flip tables, screw you guys, I'm going home. You know, that's not it at all. I'm trying to help you understand so that you can become a better player. Okay, anyway, this video has been going on for far too long, guys. I am going to get out of here. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give the video a like. I greatly appreciate it. If you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. And again, keep your shirts flying, keep your enemies down. Cobra Commander is out. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, guys, see you on Twitch and or here on YouTube. Take care, guys.